In this video, we'll be taking a look at all today's NCAAB matchups, and I'll break them all down with free winning picks so you can bet smarter and win bigger. But first, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell so you get our picks the second they drop, because when the lines move, the early birds cash in. And if you want the full Winning Sport Picks experience, head over to wspicks.com and check out our VIP packages, or grab a free consultation with one of our professional sports consultants for the sharpest edge you'll find anywhere. That's where the real plays live. We are your bookmaker's worst nightmare. These are the games we're hammering, the ones the books can't afford you to bet. This is Winning Sport Picks. The free picks are about to drop, and they're coming in hot. We start with USC taking on Michigan, and this is one of those games where the spread tells you everything you need to know about public perception. Michigan laying 21.5 is a number built on reputation and blowout expectations, but in college basketball, margins like this rarely play clean for a full 40 minutes. Once a favorite stretches a lead, tempo slows, rotations change, and urgency disappears, and that's where these big numbers quietly leak value. USC catching 22.5 puts you on the side that benefits from late game variance, empty possessions, and clock management working against the favorite. The total at 169.5 is also inflated by the assumption of sustained pace, which becomes harder to maintain when the game state tilts heavily to one side. That's why in this matchup, we're taking USC plus 22.5, and we're going under 169.5. Next up is Louisville versus Stanford, and this is a matchup where the spread lives in the most uncomfortable zone for favorites. Louisville laying 8.5 suggests control without separation, and those are the games where underdogs stay within striking distance just by slowing the game down and forcing half-court possessions. Stanford catching 8.5 fits that profile perfectly, because you don't need dominance, you just need resistance. The total of 157.5 sits high enough that every stalled possession and missed run matters, especially in a game expected to stay competitive deep into the second half. That combination points you toward patience rather than power. We're taking Stanford plus 8.5, and we're going under 157.5. Then we move to Michigan State against Nebraska, and this is one of the sharper market setups on the board. Nebraska laying 1.5 tells you the books expect this game to be decided late, and in those spots, execution and game control outweigh raw name value. Michigan State catching points might look attractive at first glance, but the number implies Nebraska is trusted to win this game more often than not, especially in a tight, controlled environment. The total at 142.5 doesn't force action either way, which usually means the strongest signal is still on the side rather than the score. In this one, we're laying it with Nebraska minus 1.5, and we're going under 142.5. Seattle takes on Gonzaga next, and this is the clearest example of brand inflation on the entire slate. Gonzaga laying 23.5 is a number that assumes dominance from tip to final buzzer, but college basketball doesn't reward favorites who ease off the gas once the game is in hand. Seattle catching 24.5 benefits from late game substitutions, slower tempo, and the natural compression that happens when blowouts turn into maintenance mode. You don't need Seattle to threaten the outcome. You just need them to survive the math. The total of 154.5 also assumes constant scoring pressure, which fades quickly once margins stretch. That's why we're taking Seattle plus 24.5, and we're going under 154.5. We wrap it up with West Virginia versus Iowa State, and this is a matchup where the number is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Iowa State laying 16.5 shows respect, but not excess, and that usually means the books are comfortable sitting in the middle and letting bettors force action. West Virginia catching 16.5 looks tempting, but the lack of value on either side tells you this game is expected to play close to projection. The total at 140 reflects a controlled pace with limited scoring runs, which often favors unders when execution tightens late. In this spot, we're taking West Virginia plus 16.5, and we're going under 140. Now listen to me, those are the free picks, but the one game I am unloading on tonight, the game that's going to crush your bookie's soul, that's the VIP play of the day at wspicks.com. This is the nuke, the hammer, the max bet, the one play I've circled, the game that will bury your bookmaker 6 feet under. When it hits, and it will, your bookie is going to need a doctor, a lawyer, and maybe even a priest. If you want to ride with me on the biggest bet of the day, get to wspicks.com right now. Now let's bring it all together so it's crystal clear. USC plus 22.5 and under 169.5. Stanford plus 8.5 and under 157.5. Nebraska minus 1.5 and under 142.5. Seattle plus 24.5 and under 154.5. West Virginia plus 16.5 and under 140. This is Winning Sport Picks, where we don't just bet, we bury bookmakers. Smash that subscribe button, drop your favorite plays in the comments, and hammer that like button like you're hammering your bookie into the dirt. We're cashing, we're dominating, and tonight we're dancing on the grave of your bookmaker. Let's go!